I'm with C6Ceramics, and I'm proud to introduce John Williams. John, welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
John is our customer service rep. He'll be the one talking to you and helping you through problems. He's a longtime detailer, a fan of detailing, and wants to sort of get out of the day-to-day of detailing and into the backside of the industry. We're allowing him that opportunity. Today, instead of just sitting here and talking, we're actually going to be applying C6 Hydro to this Panamera. We have the two coatings in front of us. We have the C6 Hydro and the C6 Diamond Gloss. This customer wants ultimate in hydrophobics, so that's what they're going to get. John, what brought you into detailing?
I started as a hobby years ago with my Audi, and it just kind of snowballed. I'd work on it. People online noticed, and they said, "Oh, you take really good care of your car. You should do that to my car."
Right.
So I would do their car, buy more tools to take care of my own cars, and it kind of just snowballed. And then my wife's work had us move out to Las Vegas. And
Right.
I moved out there. I decided to go full-time professional, and have been doing that for the last 3 years.
Excellent.
And I got that opportunity through you guys to come on and do something like this.
Excellent. John's wife is in the military, and he helps support the family with that, but she's a
OBGYN.
OBGYN in the military, so very demanding career, and they also move around a lot. So starting a business and then having to leave because you're following your family to another state is not necessarily the easiest thing. Whereas with this, it's a remote position. He can answer your calls anytime. Well, not anytime, let him sleep, but from anywhere. Like I said, instead of just sitting and talking, we're going to be detailing this car. We have already done the wash, the decon, and the polishing with all DIY detail products. Next comes the adhesion promoter polish and then the coating application. So for the adhesion promoter polish, we're going a little different than what most people think of as professional detailing. We're going to be using a random orbital sander. Probably something you've never used on a car before.
That's true.
All right. The reason for this, the short stroke of the random orbital sander, is what we found to be the optimal tool for applying the adhesion promoter polish. Now, this is a new bottle, no label, but that's what's in it. The adhesion promoter polish is an integral part of the C6 system. You need to use this. Don't use any other company's panel prep. That is not going to work. Maybe it'll look good, but you won't get the longevity of the coating you should using the app. We like to call it the app. Adhesion Promoter Polish, APP.
I get it.
Just easier
Like
saying. We have an app for that. With that, we have the DIY Detail Red Rotary Jeweling Pad. It's a nice, thick, soft pad. It's not going to give you any correction. That's not its goal. It's going to give you a little additional gloss, and it's going to make it easier. Now, contrary to what you've seen from me for the last, let's say, 40 years, we're not going to be using a damp pad, and we're not going to be using a pad washer. What? The whole goal here is to apply this to the surface. We're not polishing, we're not removing anything from the car. We're actually applying this to the surface, and the pad, we can get around the whole vehicle without getting it dirty, which is a really interesting thing. We'll keep applying the app to the pad, go around the whole vehicle. When we're done, there won't be that much in the pad. So off we go. To use this, the traditional 4 drops. We have a dispenser, little dispenser cap. Put our 4 drops of polish, and off you go. Now, you can use your DA to do this. You can use your rotary, but we've actually found that this is the best tool for the job. You can use a battery-powered one, and you can use a corded one. It's up to you. How goes it, John?
It's going well. Going
Now-
on smooth.
Yeah, and you only apply the app to the pad if you are not leaving any more on the surface. So we still see the telltale pattern of the DA here. We have what looks like a bit of haze, and that is the polish on the surface. The adhesion promoter polish, we can remove it panel by panel, or you can leave it there for as long as you want.
That way you can see what you've done.
You can see what you've done, and then we can come back and wipe it off afterwards. It's not something that has to cure. Like I said, you can wipe it off immediately. And again, contrary to what I've been telling you for decades, you're actually going to be wiping off with a dry microfiber, not a damp microfiber, and not using any panel prep after this. After this, we apply the coating. That's it. If you have a brand new car that just needs an enhancement, this is all you'll need. It has a little bit of cut. The pad has a little bit of cut, not much, just enough that we're going to continue on. Now, here we have a bit more accumulation. This is where you started.
Yep.
We want to keep working it till it actually looks like this. So you're putting it into the paint. like any panel preparation or pre-coating prep, wear your gloves. We don't want our sticky little fingers touching the paint. And at the same time, like I said, go around the whole car. It's just easier. You can wipe it off panel by panel if you want to. It's not necessary. How are you finding the application so far?
It's really smooth, goes on nicely.
So first time using a random orbital sander on paint?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what do you think of having a little buzz box in your hand?
It's going well, yeah.
Yeah. So I need a bit of this.
Yep.
So notice how you've got no accumulation in your pad whatsoever.
Yeah, it's nice.
It just sort of flows into the paint and stays there. Very good. All done. If you look at our pads, there's basically no accumulation in the pad. You have a little more than I do, but you're not used to the product yet. So basically stretch it out as far as you can go. And we used less than 1 ounce on this panel wrap. So it's not a lot. We're just putting it on or into the surface, and we're good to go. Now we get to wipe it off.
Let's do it.
Next step, we get to remove the residue of the app. And to do that, I have a short nap Pro Weave, and I have our standard buffing towel. Very easy, remove first with the Pro Weave, then go after it with that. And these are both dry. Again, a little contrary to what I've been telling you for a long time, but the chemistry of the app requires this. So first impressions?
I mean, it's coming off great. It's super smooth, looks shiny. I mean, if you touch it, it almost feels a little bit like tacky.
Yeah, that's the goal. So all the work is actually being done by the Pro Weave towel and then the secondary towels, just to make sure you didn't miss anything, and also to have something in your hand so you're not resting against the car with your hand.
Nice buffer.
Yeah. Safety first.
Now, can we use the app with other coatings, or is this specifically for C6?
It's specifically for C6. It can be used with the DIY detail coatings, and it can be used with other coatings. But of course, we haven't tested with every coating on the market, so we can't say with validity that it's going to work great with those. But with the DIY detail coatings, it does work phenomenally well.
Is there any other panel preps I could use with the C6 coatings?
No, we actually don't want you to use a solvent or alcohol-based panel prep. It's really not compatible with the chemistry. This is 100% compatible. It's designed, and like we haven't called it a panel prep, we've called it an adhesion promoter polish for a reason. That's actually what it's doing.
Sort of a Velcro for the coating.
Exactly, that's a good way of putting it.
I mean, can we use a panel prep when we're done with this one, or should we just stick with this?
Stick with this. You don't want to use a panel prep after this. You'll actually hinder the bonding of the coating. A lot of panel preps have solvents in them. Some have perfumes. Some have other items in them, colorants, etc. Those will all hinder the bonding of a coating.
Is the app safe on paint protection film?
Yes, it is. You want to do this to your PPF, to your plastics, to your moldings. Basically, anything you're going to be putting the coating on, you want the app on first. Yes, for paint protection film, it's going to gloss it up. Do what you need to do. The other thing the app is great for is coating maintenance. So 2 or 3 years, customer comes back, you're decontaminating the vehicle, and you see that there's some love marks, some swirls. Well, you can take the app to it. It's not going to remove the coating, and it's just going to continue on doing its great thing.
Sort of a coating booster.
A coating booster or coating rejuvenator would be a good way of putting it. Of course, you're going to want to do the standard decontamination steps, which include iron remover, decontamination towel, and water spot remover, just to make sure there's absolutely nothing on the paint. But if you do see those light swirls, things like that, then yeah, a quick pass with this is going to do a good job. Ideally, you'll want your room temperature to be between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit when you're applying the coating. And if you don't have AC in your shop and it's warm, get AC. It's one of the best investments you can do for productivity. One of the components in the app is SiO2. So we're actually creating a bit of a ceramic bond already into the paint. And then the rest of the C6 formula bonds to it beautifully. And that sort of tacky feeling you're getting, John, is from actually the paint being as clean as possible. So the adhesion promoter polish, if there are any oils or waxes or sealants on the surface, it's actually going to lift them to its surface. And it stays there until we wipe it away.